say there are two people having a chat. One dressed in a simple t-shirt while the other dressed in a suit. If you were to guess which one is the CEO of a company, who would you choose? I think that you will choose the one in the suit. However, the true answer is the one in a plain t-shirt. See, in everyday life, we are faced with many different kinds of decisions to be made. You go through various types of judgment and reasoning to get to your decision. Just now, you judge the two people's appearance. You assume that the one in the suit is the CEO of the company. Why? Because you know that usually people in the corporate world will wear a suit. Judgment, decisions, and reasoning is the topic that I will talk about in this video. There are two mechanisms involved in making decisions: inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Let's talk about inductive reasoning first. Inductive reasoning is the process of drawing general conclusions based on specific observations and evidence. There are three factors contributing to the strength of an inductive argument. We have representativeness of observations, number of observations, and the quality of the evidence. We are constantly using inductive reasoning because thinking long and hard about something that we are already familiar with is taking too much time. Inductive reasoning is automatic, and it also gives our brain shortcuts in which we call heuristics. Heuristic is the rules of thumb that are likely to provide the correct answer to a problem, but it is not foolproof. Heuristics have two, which are availability and representativeness. Availability heuristics involves in making judgment based on how easily an event comes to mind. An example, between words that begin with the letter R or words in which R is the third letter, which one do you think is more common? 70% would answer words begin with R, when in reality, 3 times more words have R in the third position. This is because the word begin with R is more available to us. On the other hand, representativeness heuristics involves in making judgment based on how much an event resembles other events. So this is exactly like the CEO example. As you can see from this table, there are also other potential sources of errors in judgments. However, if we fully understand these errors, it is easier to avoid them when making decisions. Now, let's move on to deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning determines whether a conclusion logically follows from statements. Its basic form is syllogism, consisted of two broad statements, which we call premises, followed by another statement called conclusion. There are two types of syllogism, categorical and conditional. In categorical syllogisms, the premises and conclusions begin with all, nor, or some. One important key factor in syllogism is in its validity. A syllogism is valid when the form of syllogism indicates that its conclusion follows logically from its two premises, even if it is not true. Take these two examples. The first one is valid. The second one is also valid, even though it's wrong. This is what makes it difficult for us to judge whether reasoning is logical or not. Syllogism can have validity but not truth, or can have truth but not validity. Take these examples. Every statements are true, but the syllogism is not valid. So, what we can say here is, just because someone have a good reasoning does not make them the truth. Another type of syllogism is conditional syllogisms. It is the same like categorical, but the first premise has the form if, then. This table shows 4 syllogisms that begin with the same first premise. It also shows how much people correctly judge its validity. Now that we've judged based on our reasoning, how do we decide? Sometimes we took the utility approach to make a decision. Expected utility theory believes that people will choose the decision that have maximum expected utility if they have all the relevant information. And other times, emotion can play a role in our decision. This is because people inaccurately predict their emotions. Expected emotions are the emotions that people predict they will feel for a particular outcome, and it is one of the causes of risk aversion, in which it is the tendency to avoid taking risks. Decisions can also depend on the context in which they are made in, or depends on how choices are being presented to us. That is all from me today. I hope that you learned a thing or two from this video. Thank you.